views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Merry meet everyone, and welcome to Stirring the Cauldron's Masterclass. I see the professor is walking up to the podium. So, take a seat, get comfortable. The class is ready to begin.
Merry meet everybody and welcome. Tonight we're going to be talking about a subject that has never stirred in my cauldron. It's sacred massage, the magic and ritual of soothing touch, and Debra DeAngelo will be our professor tonight. Debra is a garden variety pagan with many eclectic spiritual interests and pursuits. After 26 years as managing editor in the field of print journalism, she turned her focus to books and freelance writing. She's an award-winning columnist and writes feature stories and book reviews for Sage Women and Witches and Pagans magazine. Now, if you're listening to the show right now and you're in the Para X chat room, any questions and comments you have will be very welcome. And if you're listening but you're not in our virtual classroom, come join the rest of the students at paraxradionetwork.com. You've got some little bit of time. So let's get started. And Debra, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.
I am too. And I think I'm going to start out because when I was reading parts of the book, I like the story about how you became a massage therapist. You want to tell the tale?
Sure. It's not something that I planned to do, but what happened was I got divorced, and I had a day job as a newspaper editor, and
field of print journalism, she turned her focus to books and freelance writing. She's an award-winning columnist and writes feature stories and book reviews for Sage Women and Witches and Pagans magazine. Now, if you're listening to the show right now and you're in the Para X chat room, any questions and comments you have will be very welcome. And if you're listening but you're not in our virtual classroom, come join the rest of the students at paraxradionetwork.com. You've got some little bit of time. So let's get started. And Debra, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.
I am too. And I think I'm going to start out because when I was reading parts of the book, I like the story about how you became a massage therapist. You want to tell the tale?
Sure. It's not something that I planned to do, but what happened was I got divorced, and I had a day job as a newspaper editor, and journalism is right in there with other jobs that say you want fries with that for financial benefit. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to survive on a journalism income. And I didn't want to do anything that was involving more time at a keyboard or staring into a monitor. So, of course, I became an author later, but we'll get to that. But it was a great way to do something else that was completely unlike the journalism world in every way. And I was really drawn towards the healing arts. And rather than being the confrontive, combative newspaper editor, I wanted to turn the corner and do something else. And massage is so connective with other people. And I just completely fell in love with it, giving and receiving. And it's such a valuable part of your life, physically and emotionally. And I've been at it for 25 years now with my own private practice.
See, people want to say, well, when I grow up, I want to be, or, I need a job. And lots of times, like what you had, it wasn't what you're looking for, but look what happened. Ta-da, right?
Nothing happened the way it was supposed to. I was supposed to be either a screenwriter or a country western singer. and ended up working in a newspaper. So my plans just sort of went off into the weeds, but I've had some interesting little travels.
I'm sure. Well, okay, let's talk a little bit about massage. There's many types, and someone who saw my post this morning said that he never had a massage, but I got to thinking that pretty sure maybe everybody gets a massage every day without even knowing it, because if you bump into something, you rub, there. And if you get up in the middle of the night and your legs cramp and massage, we do. So am I kind of on the right track?
Well, that might be a tiny little step in the right direction, that when something hurts, your first impulse is to use your hands to soothe that spot. So essentially, yeah, that's our innate instinct. It's not unique to humans. Animals will also comfort each other with touch. It's well documented in the animal world, but somehow innately we know that if we hurt something, putting our hand there is going to help. It doesn't make any sense, but it works.
It's true, because you're saying, if you get really hit hard, it'll be hard to touch, and it wouldn't be not so good. It's like you touch it and you get back and, oh no, hurts. But, talking about touch, you talk in the book about the language of touch. And because there's so much more spending over your hands, it's just not that. There's just touch is more than just making you feel good. I mean, there's a physical part of massage, and then there's also the spiritual side. And so let's talk about both of those sides.
Yeah, there are a lot of facets to it. There are all kinds of scientific studies that show that the touch of another person can alter your heartbeat and your breathing rate. It can relieve pain. There's a study I mentioned in the book where they take committed couples, and holding hands and subject one to mild shocks, and then measure their experience of pain, and just having that hand to hold lessens their experience of pain, even though it's the same shock. So spiritually speaking, I personally believe that when I'm doing massage as a healing ritual, I'm channeling in healing energy through the universe, through my hands, and the person receives that. And massage, it soothes your whole physiological system. There are parts of your physiology called Pacinian corpuscles that all they do is sense pressure. So they sense the feeling of being touched, and they use that stimulus of touch to tell your central nervous system it's okay, you can calm down. So it's really quite involved what happens when you touch someone else, what happens in the body, and your body can't be fooled. So touch changes you. Now I know myself, I've received massage as well. Like, I do walk the talk, but I go every week, and for me, it's necessary maintenance. I think getting regular massage for me was transformative, because I tend to carry a lot of stress in my body, which isn't unique, but I need somebody else to take care of it. I just need to lie there and let somebody else make that go away. And you start to look at massage not as a fluffy treat, but as part of your regular health maintenance. And to me, that's absolutely true. In India, massage is accepted as part of life. That's just what you do to stay healthy. And I've heard that you can walk through a marketplace and find booths where they're all ready to go. You just walk in and you get sometimes with just sesame oil. They do Ayurvedic massage is really big there. That takes into account the body's heat and shape. You've heard of the the endomorphs, ectomorphs, that kind of thing. It goes into that whole realm. And like you said, there are so many different modalities of massage. Probably whatever someone needs, there's a modality for that. Some people are nervous about being touched, especially if they've never had massage, so they might try Reiki, which doesn't necessarily have any touch, or they might try Thai massage, which is done with the clothing on and uses more rocking and pressure and body weight to achieve the relaxation.
Do you think that, I'm sorry, do you think that when you have a massage, your body gets used to it and kind of wants you to do it, even if you're not thinking? It's just something that we need. And so we start doing it, and what I mean.
Absolutely true. It's sort of like when you get to the end of the day and you're craving sleep. When I get to my massage day, I'm craving that physical release. It's just, you do get to a point where it becomes part of your routine. And I know my own clients will tell me if they have to skip, they'll come in and they're moaning and groaning because my shoulders are killing me, and they're always surprised, especially the ones that have been coming for a long time, when they go away on vacation or something and come back. It's like, oh, wow, my shoulders are a mess. And I said, yeah, you adapt to things feeling better. And then when you stop, things kind of roll back into place where they were. So that's the thing about muscles and tendons. You can work them and maintain them and keep them loose and flexible, but that's not something that you fix. It's not one and done like a healed bone. It's something that's ongoing. If you stop softening those tissues, they'll go, they're like water. They'll roll back to the lowest point and go back to where they were. So, I view massage as just necessary if you want to feel good in your body.
And speaking of that, in the chat room, somebody's saying, what if your massages are filled with pain all the time? She says she said she can't get a massage because of that.
I'm curious to know if that person might have fibromyalgia, because that's a whole different world. So I have a few clients with fibromyalgia, and what happens with people like that, and maybe this is what this person's experiencing, is the body misinterprets the sensation of touch as pain. So even though you're not doing anything, I had a fibromyalgia person once, I just set my hands down. She says, oh, that's too deep. And I said, well, I haven't started. I just set my hands down. And so what I've learned about people who have pain, whether or not it's got a fibromyalgia label on it, is that the person is always right. If they tell me something hurts, then it hurts, and that's that. Now, some modalities require some pain to bust through knots and sticky tissue. Sports massage is pretty brutal. Deep tissue massage, again, you're breaking up sticky stuff on purpose, and it hurts, and it will hurt afterwards. And that's that modality. But for people who experience chronic pain and who experience touch as pain, I actually developed a method for working with those people. And if they tell me it hurts, and that's that. No more argument. And so I had two different people who'd had bad experiences with massage therapists that thought what these people need is, to dig in there and loosen those muscles. And no, what those people needed was for somebody to listen to them. And how I treated them was I imagined that they were bubbles. And when I touched them, I couldn't break the bubble. And one of them, we even jokingly called it bubble therapy. And sometimes when she's sore, she'll tell me, I need a bubble day. And the interesting thing is that both of these people began with being unable to tolerate any sort of pressure. And over time, they're now both taking a regular amount of pressure without any issue. And my interpretation of that is I think that whatever happens with people who experience touch as pain, those nerve receptors became desensitized and calmed down and went, okay, this isn't pain. This is just touch. And the other piece of it is that these people learned that they could trust, that they know what I'm going to do. They know I'm not going to hurt them. They know if I do go a little deeper, it's only going to be very small increments. But I think that ability to trust the person who's working on you allows you to relax. When you relax, there's less cortisol flowing through your system. Cortisol, it activates that fight or flight response, and it's counterproductive to relaxing into massage. But if a person's had bad experiences with massage therapists, and I've had a couple massage therapists that hurt me. You can't have that sacred massage experience if you don't trust. If you're always, one eye half open, is that going to hurt when you do that? That's not the kind of massage that we're talking about here. If it was clinical massage, like you've had some kind of muscle injury and they're going to go in and they're going to bust things down, yes, it's going to hurt. So several things could be going on. It sounds like this person didn't connect with the right massage therapist, period, because she wasn't being listened to. It's also possible she may have chosen the wrong modality. A very gentle modality is Swedish massage. That's sort of the basic place where most of us in California, you take a basic 100-hour massage class that's usually based in Swedish massage, which is long, flowing strokes, like when you see in the movies that they're rubbing the shoulders and spreading the oil, and it's very soothing and slow. That is Swedish massage. Lomi massage is very similar. That's a Hawaiian modality. Again, slow, soothing motions. And so that's the place to start. If you're worried about it being painful, is ask for Swedish massage. Almost everybody does that.
She said she didn't have fibromyalgia, but she said it felt like that. But then now someone else in the chat room is saying, what about neuropathy, where feet are extremely sensitive to touch?
Well, that's an interesting question. Neuropathy, I do have a person with neuropathy. And she feels that the massage helps the circulation there. Now, this is neuropathy resulting from diabetes. So I don't know if it's the same neuropathy. I've had neuropathy myself from a pinched nerve in my neck. And I could see where that might feel uncomfortable because it's like the whole muscle, the arm is buzzing like there's a beehive in there. But neuropathy, the nerves are agitated. So again, it seems like I would approach that with overall soothing the area, being slow, and getting feedback from the person, especially if it's the first time. You should check in and say, how is this? Is this okay? Because some people feel like, well, if it hurts, it must be what it's supposed to feel like, and this person must know what they're doing. But no, it shouldn't be painful for relaxing massage. Neuropathy is also something you might want to see a massage therapist that leans more towards the clinical end, because it's got, as opposed to simple relaxation and stress reduction, that's a physical issue. And so there are modalities that specialize with that. A lot of times you'll find those kind of massage therapists working in conjunction with chiropractors or health centers, as opposed to, a fluff and buff salon or spa. Totally different. So the thing is, whatever your issues are, you find the right kind of massage therapist for that. And it might require a little research, a little Googling and saying, what's the best massage for neuropathy? And you'll get answers that'll pop up, and then you find someone that does it that way. The great thing about having a massage therapist that you're with for an extended time is, if, let's say, you develop neuropathy. Okay, well, we know now we can change something, we can add something. Sometimes people have various conditions where we discover, okay, we need to prop this limb up, or we need to have you lift it a little bit under the shoulders with some pillows or a wedge. But it's not like the body is the same week after week. And I have had people who've been in my practice for the whole 25 years. So I've had this benefit of seeing people age over time and seeing needs change. And sometimes you need something else. And I think massage therapists that are brand new out of school think they know better than their clients. And someone who's been at it for a while understands that, okay, this isn't about me. This is about what this person needs. And if your massage therapist isn't like that, you should keep looking.
Yeah, good advice. Another question. Can massage therapy help mental health also?
Oh, absolutely. It will help with stress reduction. It can help with trust issues. It can help with grief. Sometimes feelings come up with all of those things in massage. And it's like the feeling of being under trusted hands sometimes allows a person to talk. Some people like to talk in their appointments and some don't. If it's a mental health issue resulting from trauma, like PTSD, it is a good experience to have massage therapists you can trust. But I will throw out there's a better one than massage. I unfortunately didn't have room for it in my book, but it's called EFT, tapping therapy. If you're having depression, grief, PTSD, anger, addiction, it helps all those things. And it's done by tapping on certain points with one of your hands on certain points on your face and chest, and repeating certain phrases over and over, such as, even though I'm feeling sad, I totally and completely accept myself. And you continue tapping in this pattern. And it's pretty amazing the effect that it has. But once again, it still requires touch. Touch is still the key to that method working, as opposed to talk therapy. And I have experienced it myself. I went through a period where I had PTSD following a murder here in town that was hit a little too close to home, and decided it was safer to stay home than to go outside of the house. And my doctor said, try this. Rather than giving me drugs, she said, try this. And I did, and the results were astounding. I would never have believed it if I hadn't experienced it myself. So that's another physical type of touch therapy that can really help with massage. But massage also will soothe and help people to feel better. I mean, a lot of people, when they're having a rough week, they're looking forward to having their massage session because they know for that hour they're going to feel completely safe. Nobody's going to bother them, and you get a break from your life and from your emotions. You get an hour to just go within and relax. That can be healing all by itself.
Yeah, it can. Let's talk about making magic and with that. And it kind of starts with grounding and centering, doesn't it?
It does. That was one of the first little tidbits that I went, these things have something in common. I went to massage school before I found my pagan path. So I had heard grounding and centering from the massage angle, and then I get into the magical pagan community and say, they're using the same words. And little by little over the years, beginning there, I started drawing lines between what happens in ritual and what happens in a massage session. And it just started clicking little by little. If I don't do this for every massage, but if I'm doing specifically a healing ritual massage, I borrow from ritual steps. I can call in my mind, invite the energies of the quarters. I can invite spirit. I can invite the god and goddess. I can do all of these things with my hands, just resting on the back and moving a little back and forth. We're just soothing now over the top of the sheet. And the person just thinks, oh, they're rubbing my back. But no, I'm actually creating a magical circle. And so you can go point by point for ritual and have a correlating massage practice, such as raising energy. We raise energy before we do magic. Well, the raising energy piece would be before we start working on the body. I take one hand on either side of the body and rock the body head to toe, from top to bottom and back up again. And then that sort of gets you in the space where you're ready for the next piece of what would be in a ritual, the main magical work, that the body becomes the magical work. My intention, just as you have an intention in ritual, my intention is to bring peacefulness and relaxation to this person. And I almost always, I'll qualify that, almost always work by inviting Kuan Yin. She is my healing goddess, the goddess of compassion, the goddess who couldn't turn away from the world until she dried every tear. And she inspires me in my massage sessions because sometimes I might be having problems. I might be sad or whatever, and you can't bring that into a room, right? Or if you're having a bad day. And I look to Kuan Yin, and she's got 3 altars here in this office. I look to her to come back to my own peaceful place. But I invite her to every session, just like we would invite deity into ritual. And so her special mantra is Om Mani Padme Om, which means the jewel is in the lotus. Some translate that as praise the jewel in the lotus. But I say that as I spread my hands across the back. And so she's always present. And I had one client who was on the new side. She'd only been a couple of times. And I end my sessions also inviting Kuan Yin back in and doing some affirmations and mantras there at the end. And she said, "What is it that you're doing at the end?" I said, "Well, you're getting a spiritual blessing. You're getting a Reiki symbol, and ending with a namaste and a so mote it be." I have something for each of those phrases. There's something that I do. And she said, "Well, that's interesting because when I was lying there, I felt a woman standing next to us." I kind of got chills, and I immediately said, it's Kuan Yin. You felt that feminine presence watching over her, watching over you. And she was having a very difficult time. She'd had a teenager that had been in a car accident, a severe one. She was pretty wound up. And that was the day that she says she felt Kuan Yin here. The other goddess that I like to invite, especially for someone who's recovering from surgery or an injury. So then we're not talking so much about relaxation, but there's some healing necessary. And I like to invite Isis because she is a great mother goddess, but she's also a goddess of magical healing. She put Osiris back together after he was torn to pieces. So that's kind of like the ultimate healing, right?
Yeah.
And the few times I've had Isis and asked her to be present were really amazing experiences. I was working with a person who'd had some facial reconstruction and couldn't be touched, and I was holding her head, and I requested Isis to be present, and we were doing sort of a combined touch talk therapy. And we were talking through this facial disfigurement and how to have peace with it while it heals, and how to accept that it's not going to be forever. And I found myself speaking words that weren't coming from me. I mean, they were in English, but I wasn't planning what was coming out of my mouth. It was just coming out of my mouth, and I went with it. And I think the thing is, working with deity is both of these goddesses had been part of my life for a long while. So it's sort of like they found a little niche that they fit into. And so they're present in these sessions, but most especially Kuan Yin. She's always present. And so let's see, we were talking about magic, and I got off on Kuan Yin and got way too excited and out into the weeds.
No, that's good, because we're going to do some more talking, too, about that kind of thing, the magical side and everything. I got one quick question before we have to go to break. She wants to know, when grounding, what crystals or stones would you suggest, and does another person involved need to have the same ones?
Interesting. So for massage, my go-to crystal for grounding is rose quartz, because it represents the heart chakra. It represents self-love and self-healing and other love and other healing. But I do have fluorite in here as I look around, and a lot of clear quartz. But one of my Kuan Yin altars is exclusively rose quartz, and I feel that vibration in the same wavelength as Kuan Yin. It's all about tender, healing, protective love. And I don't necessarily use crystals to ground, but they are very much present. I have a couple of times used celestite. I have a big celestite heart, and for people that are having anxiety and stress, it's as big as my palms put together.
Wow.
I take the celestite heart and lay it on the sternum, and people report that it's very soothing to have that celestite heart. So that's another good one. But rose quartz is definitely top of that list. And what was the other question?
I forgot. I think it was if the other person had the stones. So think about it, because, you have a lot of activities in the book. And when we come back from a quick break, you'll be teaching us one of them. So everybody stay put and get ready to learn how to do some hands-on work. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Don't go away. There's more Stirring the Cauldron with Marla Brooks right after these important messages.
Do you know where the world's most secret bases are located? Do you know what spooky action at a distance means? Is there a conspiracy by aliens to prevent us from conquering space? And where is the best place in the United States to see a real UFO? Find the answers to all these questions and more in Mac Maloney's new book, Mac Maloney's Haunted Universe. Visit places you never knew existed: the Hampton Tunnels of Tokyo, the UFO Trail in South America, Ong's Hat, and the very mysterious M Triangle. Mac Maloney Haunted Universe contains hundreds of reports on ghosts, haunted planes and ships, weird celebrity deaths, mysterious sounds, and a breakdown of every monster in America, state by state. You've heard him talk about it on the radio. Now get all of Mac's paranormal research in one large volume. Mac Maloney's Haunted Universe, with a foreword by the very famous Juan Juan. On sale now in your local bookstore or on Amazon.com.
Hi, this is Marla, and if you're enjoying tonight's masterclass and you want to hear it again, you'll be able to find it at the show's YouTube channel, which is Stirring the Cauldron Para X. And it'll be up there, well, forever. And you'll also find dozens of Stirring the Cauldron podcasts as well. And while you're there, why not subscribe? It's free. And whatever metaphysical area you're interested in, you'll find something to catch your eye, I'm sure. Well, thank you for listening in to tonight's class, and now I'll let you get back to your regular scheduled programming.
Hi, Barry McGuire here, inviting you to come along with Marla Brooks, and let's start stirring the cauldron together on Para X.
Stirring the Cauldron with Marla Brooks, Thursdays at 9 o'clock on Para X. Welcome back to Stirring the Cauldron. Once again, here's your host, Marla Brooks.
And our guest teacher tonight is Debra DeAngelo, and we're talking about sacred massage. And as I mentioned before, we're going to learn how to create energy in our hands. But a question came in that was really, I think, a good one to ask first. She wants to know if there's a difference between having a male or female therapist. After all, the two genders have different energies.
They're both good. It's just a matter of preference. And there's also a lot of overlap. I've had female massage therapists that were too rough, and I've had male massage therapists that were just gentle and kind. It depends more on the person, but on average, I tend to gravitate more towards female therapists, and it's just strictly preference. But I don't know that there's a lot of difference. If the person has had the same training, like in my massage school, there was about an equal split of male and female, and we all had the same training. I think that's more pertinent. As long as these people are legitimate massage therapists and not a front for prostitution, because that's a whole nother other ugly pocket. And I actually stumbled into one of those situations myself. It was pretty weird. Watch out for sandwich boards on the sidewalk that say massage for $40. Walk in accepted. It can lead down a very weird path.
I'm sure.
So I think either male or female are good. The nice thing about a male massage therapist is, on average, they tend to have bigger, stronger hands. And if you want things worked deeper, male hands are pretty good. Female hands are great for soothing. Actually, all hands are good.
You've never had a hand that you didn't like, right?
Only the weird one that I walked into. I've had a couple really bad massages, and that was one where they made it very clear that I wasn't the clientele they were looking for, and they made sure that I didn't like it enough to ever come back.
Live and learn, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to the creating energy in our hands part of the show. So there you go.
Yeah, this is something that we can experience at home, and it's not anything unique to massage. You'll find people that are learning Reiki or energy healing or magic do this same exercise, and some people may have already tried this, but we'll try it here together. You'll sort of have to envision what I'm saying, but you can detect energy between your hands as a thickness. It's not a thickness you can grab hold of, but it's something you detect. So to try and sense this, first we'll have everybody rub your palms very briskly together, and they're hot. And this will take a little bit. We want to get them good and hot, back and forth really fast. And probably we need to do this a little longer, a little bit longer. And then when you feel like your hands are hot, hold them about a body width apart, palms facing. And then slowly bring your palms together, super slow, snail slow, until you feel the air sort of thicken. There'll be a sensation that you can detect. And for me, about the size of a grapefruit is where I really start to detect that sensation of something different about this space than it was before. So when you feel that thickened area, play with it like it's a ball. So see if you can imagine pushing it away from you and pulling it back. See if you can imagine rolling your hands over and smoothing the round surface. And you can test it again by drawing your hands back apart and slowly bringing them back together again. And this feeling of energy is what happens when you are doing chakra work with a person, whether in Reiki or just regular. Over each chakra, you can detect this thickened bubble of energy. If the bubble is very flat and close to the body, that chakra is not moving freely. And if it's up higher where you can feel it, then the chakra moving well. And so just keep playing with that. And it may be kind of difficult to do as we're doing this on the phone and through a radio and through the internet, but try it again later when you're by yourself and you can really be still and rub those palms together, palms apart, and then slowly come back together until you find that thickened spot. And so what you can do with this energy, this is a way you could help anybody by holding the palm over each chakra. So the chakra begins with the root chakra at the pubic bone. So they might be laying on their back at the pubic bone. Then it goes to the sacral chakra, which is between the pubic bone and the belly button. And then the solar plexus chakra, which is just below the rib cage, just above the belly button. Then you have the heart chakra, right where the heart is, at the sternum. The throat chakra is at the throat. The third eye chakra is at the forehead. And the crown chakra is just above the head. Now, using that energy, you can start to feel the undulating differences between each chakra. One may be high, one may be low. But the really interesting thing is when I will work with someone on their crown chakra, and I'll ask them afterwards, so when I was on your crown chakra, how far away were my hands from your head? And they usually will say, oh, maybe like 6 inches. And I'll say they were 2 feet away when I felt your energy space. So all around the body, you do have an electromagnetic field that's there. We have to become sensitized to it because that's not something normally humans pay attention to. But that's when you hear about auras and energy fields, chakras. That's really what you're talking about. So in Reiki, that's the space where you're working with these energy fields. So with these, would you like to go on and do a meditation with the hands, or what do you have in mind?
Yeah, you could do that if you'd like. That would be nice.
All righty then, and I will try my best not to clear my throat because that's my little affliction. Okay, so this activity is actually in my book, and I'm gonna jump off from there. But so to prepare for meditation, let's all get comfortable where we're sitting, and we have our feet on the ground. Unless you're lying down, then you have your whole body on the ground. But if you're sitting, feel your feet on the ground and feel your butt in your chair. And the thing you're going to be sensitive to is gravity. You want to feel the gravity of the earth. And we want to imagine that the earth is hugging you close. So you just feel that gravity for a minute. It's very calming. It's very protective. And then you want to slow your breathing down. So you want to breathe in and out effortlessly, just like waves, in and out. You might want to close your eyes and focus on that breathing in and out. And then imagine that this breathing is going deeper into your body, down near your belly button. And slowly in and out, breathing from that belly button without effort, and feeling the gravity. And we tell ourselves when we're in this space, I am safe. This is a safe place. Continue focusing on your breathing. If any thoughts happen to pop in, just let them go by. Imagine they're leaves on a stream. You can just let them float away. You can say, yep, that's a thought. And then down it flows, down the stream and out of sight. So we're in a calm, still, safe place, aware of our breathing, aware of the gravity. And now we can imagine a beam of pure white light coming from way out in the universe. and streaming down through the top of your head, right through your crown chakra. And this beautiful light drifts down through the body, down through the arms and hands, down through the feet, until you're filled with white light. So inhale and exhale that light. Inhale it and exhale it down your arms and into your palms. And then concentrate on your palm. And you may feel heat. You may feel a sensation like you're holding a ball. You may feel like a tingle or energy right in the center of the palms. And just let that white light collect there. And now we'll imagine that we're bringing our palms slowly together, like we did before, and they're forming a ball of orange light, warm, glowing like an ember, like a gentle fireplace. And imagine that orange light settling and swirling in your palms. And then gather up that warm orange light. And pull it with your hands up to your sternum. Feeling warmth. Feeling soothing candlelight. Soothing fireplace orange. And then let that fill up your body. Let your body feel warm and full and peaceful. And then we're going to focus again on our hands. Rub them slowly together. Rub them around each other and as if massaging that warmth right in. These are hands that heal. These are conduits of that warm, orange, soothing energy. These hands are sacred. And these hands can transmit this warmth. So be grateful for these hands and what they can do. And place your palms together like you might in a prayer. And bring the hands up to your sternum. And tell yourself, Namaste, which means the divine in me sees the divine in you. And then we'll slowly relax our hands. And once again, return to our breathing. In and out of the belly button. Up into the lungs. Effortless. And we become aware again of where our body touches the surface we're sitting or lying on, and we feel gravity. And we come back to the place where we start. And we open our eyes. And with our eyes open, take a look at those beautiful hands that you just blessed. These hands are capable of transmitting love and healing and warmth. They can do so much more than you ever imagined. Just your touch, just your palm on someone's back can change their heart rate. So there's so much more to your hands than you may ever have imagined. So celebrate these hands later on. Get a little oil or lotion and massage each hand, one with the other, and feel the muscles and tendons and bones. You may never have run your fingers between those bones to feel what they feel like. And the miracle of what is there in your hand is really something to appreciate. And you can take those hands and learn to heal and learn to give a sacred massage, or just learn to place them on someone's back and change how they're feeling. Touch is magic. And that's our blessing of the hands meditation for this evening.
Thank you. That was really good. Except that I got my ankle bit by the cat, and I had to jump up.
Okay, that's no good for meditation.
That didn't help. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. Early on, somebody asked, well, what if we don't have somebody? Nobody to do that for us? How can you do it yourself if you can?
Well, you can get my book, but I will say that the physical print is only available through the weekend, and then it goes digital. So you can learn that in a book. And what I suggest to people is you get a book and you get a buddy, and you learn to provide massage to each other, because that's what's in this. But for yourself, if that's not possible, the reason I wrote the book was to make massage possible and accessible to anyone, because massage is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. I don't charge nearly as much as other people, and I know it's expensive. But there are some things that you can do, like we just talked about your hands. So you can soothe your hands by taking one hand on the other, and on your finger you'll see 3 little sections on each finger. Well, each section has a muscle. You can press into that and go in a circle. The other thing that soothes the hand is to take the forefinger and thumb and squeeze the knuckles till it's just right. Not too much. You don't want to hurt yourself, but squeezing the knuckles helps. Also, what you can do is take turns on each hand and gently pull the fingers away from the palm, especially the thumbs. I've got arthritis in my thumbs, and this is something that's very soothing. But you can begin there. Your hands have pressure points related to all sorts of things. So like if you have headaches, you can squeeze hard in the web between the thumb and forefinger. And I do mean hard, like ouch hard. There's something about that particular pressure point that can help relieve headaches, but you do have to squeeze hard. Like if someone else does it for you, that's not a gentle move. Some of the other things that you can do, forearms can get really worn out, especially if you're at the keyboard a lot. So one of my little favorite moves, this is from the book, is called your duckbill. So if you hold your hand up and you make a shadow, if you're going to make a duck shadow and it looks like quack, 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 it looks like a duckbill, you take that thumb on one side at the bottom, at the underside of the wrist, and the fingers over the top, and squeeze. And you just do little duck bites, and a half inch at a time from the wrist all the way up to the elbow. Up near the elbow, there are tendons that attach. If you feel your elbow on the side, you'll notice there's like some bony points there on the sides. Well, the muscles and tendons attach above and below these points. If you get tendonitis, like golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, that's where these things attach. And that squeezing motion with those duckbills is really relaxing the forearms. And another thing you can do on your own, if you lay back so you're not holding your head up, but lace your fingers behind your head so that your thumbs are resting on either side of your neck. And do this laying down. And then you can take your thumbs and you can squeeze, again, 1 inch at a time, pressing the thumbs together as if you're trying to touch them through your neck. You can go between the vertebra. You can go down the sides of those muscles that are tight. The muscles stretch from the back corner of the skull all the way down to the tip of the shoulder. That's one of the sets of muscles that can be sore. But in that position, with your neck relaxed, you can really do some great work, loosening up the neck. Now, the other thing you can feel in that position, if you run your thumb over the edge of the back of your skull, you'll notice it's not flat. So if you go up and down with your thumb, you'll say, oh, there's a ridge there that I never noticed. Well, that ridge, on top of the ridge, your neck muscles are anchored to it. And so when you get stress headaches and things like that, it's the muscles are literally pulling on that spot. and creating tension in the scalp. The scalp actually has muscles. So with your hands laced behind your head and your thumbs on that ridge, which is called the occipital ridge, you just drag and press that thumb up and down over that ridge over and over. And you can go in circles, but you can help those muscles loosen up. Then you'll also notice in this position, oh, I can easily massage my scalp just by running my fingers back and forth through the scalp. And as I said, the scalp has more muscle than we realize. So you can do this on the back of the head, over the top of the head, and then you can make nice soothing circles at the temples, very slow. The key to many of these moves is going slower than you think you need to go. But circles at the temples really help. Another thing you might notice, this may be a little hard to explain over the radio, but if you take your thumb and put it, you notice that around your eye, there's a big circle of bone. So if you take your thumb and put it in the inner corner of your eye where you feel that bone, and you slide it upwards, almost to where your eyebrow begins, you'll discover a notch. You'll slide up there and go, oh, there's a little bump here, and there's a notch in front of it, right on that eye orbital bone. Well, that notch, and again, this is like that web of the thumb. You push hard on there, hard to where it hurts, and then you slide your thumb up over your eyebrow and down the side of your face. What that little notch does is it will help with nasal congestion. So if you have allergies or chronic congestion, you can sometimes relieve that by pressing into that notch, sliding the finger up over the eyebrow, down the temple, down the side of the face. So other things you can do
Wait, I'm going to jump in a minute here because we're going to get close to going, but there's a comment and a question that I want you to hear. And it's a little tiny question. So she says, wow, that medication was great. When I brought up my hands, I felt my whole body begin to sway, like an energy went through me. What could have created that? And it was very relaxing.
That's marvelous. That to me, that is spirit talking to you, the divine energy of the universe. When you open up to it, especially if it's a new experience and you discover, oh my, this is real. This is a real thing. I think that is a beautiful reaction, and I love that.
Okay, just wanted to get that in. And can you give your website and where people can find you?
Yeah, it's DebraDeAngelo.com. Easy peasy. I'm also on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook. I'm on Instagram as Garden Variety Pagan. I also have a page by that name on Facebook. I no longer use X because Elon. The page is still there, but it's been dormant for quite a long time, and I don't intend to use it again. So that's not a good place to look for me. It mainly is sitting there to point you to Blue Sky. That's about it.
That'll work. All right. Well, I wish
to find.
It is, and yeah, there's so much in the book is on Amazon till the what did you say till the end of the week or?
No, end of the weekend. It's on it's on its dead man walking phase. It's just the reality of limited warehouse space and thousands of authors with multiple books, and they're just stuffed to the rafters. And
yeah,
massage is a very niche
topic,
and it didn't quite make the reprinting cut. So you can get the book at Llewellyn.com, Amazon.com, but after Sunday, it probably will only be digital, which is okay. But if you're using the book to actually learn, I think it's better to have the physical book. You can open the pages and see the pictures. And
yeah. So hurry up and go if you want.
Hurry up and get it while you can.
Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. It was a great show. It went too quickly. And I want to also thank all the listeners. And until next time, everybody, blessed be and merry meet again. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Stirring the Cauldrons Masterclass. Please join us on the last Thursday of the month at the same time for another great class and more cauldron stirring. Any rebroadcast or other use of this program without explicit permission is strictly prohibited. Copyright 2024. The Holiday Weasel by Kevin MacLeod is licensed through Incompetech.